Pollard, and I'm the Education and Outreach Manager at an organisation called Spaceport Cornwall. And we'll be launching rockets from Cornwall in 2022, so next year. And those rockets will have satellites within them. So we will be the first place in the UK to be launching rockets and be releasing satellites into space from the UK.
Elsie, this is LD in control room. We are currently on track for our nominal timeline, and our current drop time as listed in Trillion is 19:25 UTC.
Plane of control on flight crew has been boarded the aircraft.
Cosmic Girl, this is orbit base. You are go for takeoff.
Copy, go for takeoff.
Altitude 3000.
And orbit base, Cosmic Girl is starting the turn to the inbound. Pulling now. Pull.
Pulling.
Release. Release.
Just is ignited.
Confirm Newton 3 engine startup.
Max Alpha achieved.
TV stays in first place, looking good.
We had a pretty awesome view up here.
Max Q Alpha achieved.
Stage 1 burn nominal.
Stage set, brake wires broken.
Newton 4 startup complete.
Recovered, and we are now returning to base.
Bearing, brake wires broken.
Ultra One's in space.
Sounds like the blue skies went to black.
This is Radiohead on control. Mauritius has confirmed acquisition signal. Payload separation confirmed.
That was Virgin Orbit's first ever test launch of their rocket system. And as you can see, that's a horizontal launch. So it's on the wing of a plane rather than a vertical launch, which is what kind of a lot of students think about. And that's been sort of 10 years in the making, really, of Virgin Orbit thinking that how they could do that, how they could launch a rocket on the wing of the plane, and then using one of their old sort of Virgin Atlantic Boeing 747 planes to take that rocket up to the edge of space to then release it. And that's really important to us because that's the exact same technology that they're going to be bringing to Cornwall for the first launch next year. I've now got another short video just to show you about kind of who we are and what we're planning to do. hopefully that gives you a better indication into kind of who we are and what we're planning to do. And people have probably seen that there's been a huge amount of sort of interest and news coverage of the space sector and launches. And the reason for this is because it's getting a lot cheaper to launch to space. And again, the reason for this is because technology now means that we can develop satellites that are so much smaller. So in the past, satellites would have been maybe the size of a minibus, but now you can get satellites that are smaller than your lunchbox. So you can get 10-inch by 10-inch CubeSats, which are particularly good for launching to low Earth orbit, and they're not able to do quite as much as the large sort of minibus size ones, but they're able to go up and do specific roles, and that's why there's so much more interest in launch now. So I think for Spaceport Cornwall and for a lot of the other organisations in the space sector, social media is particularly good. You know, if you are interested in space, start to follow some of those organisations on social media. I always say to students who are interested in working in the area in the future, get involved with the competitions and the opportunities they have. You know, we're running virtual work experience this week. We've also had a designer poster competition, and a lot of other organisations also have kind of competitions directed towards younger people. Get involved with them. You know, even if you don't win, it's a great thing to have on your CV. And if you've ever got any questions or anything, you know, feel free to get in touch with them, find out more. You know, it's for you to start doing some of that research and just engage, really. I think there's a few different routes. You know, there are a few apprenticeships that are starting to come into the forefront. So we've just taken on our first apprentice around sort of business and administration. However, that said, there's 62% of the jobs within the space sector overall last year still required a degree or a degree level qualification. And that could be a degree level apprenticeship. However, they're in fairly short supply. So university is still a very common route into the space sector. So if you haven't looked before, then the UCAS website is a particularly good website to look at. And depending on what area you're wanting to go into, there's different things. So more around the sort of engineering side. If you're looking at the upstream about actually putting the rockets and the satellites together. But then if you're actually interested in, you know, there's so much data coming back from those satellites now. And one huge area of opportunity, I think, is how do we use that data to come up with new products, to come up with new services that can benefit us as humans by using that coming back. So if you're interested in that side of things, then it could be a sort of mobile or app sort of development degree that you could take. But you know, in school you can study, you know, maybe 20 subjects. At college you can choose between, you know, about 100. At university you can choose between 37,000 unique level courses. So if there's one aspect of one subject, whether that's space or another subject that you're interested in, you'll be able to find a degree that interests you. And then you'll be actually spending your whole time studying that subject and being able to look for opportunities within that once you finish your degree. That would be my advice to students that are interested in getting into the space sector in the future. You know, we really need lots of different skill sets to come in. You know, if you're on that sort of engineering side, you need to have that creative mindset to be able to look at a problem and fix that problem, but also be able to follow that step-by-step process and have that attention to detail that makes it happen. On the flip side, if you're looking at developing new products using the data that's coming down, or you're working within more of a business-facing or marketing-facing aspect, you need to have that creativity to be able to think of new ways to market, but also new products that you may be wanting to design. So really, it depends on the role. A lot of people, when you're talking about jobs in the space sector, automatically think about that engineering side. But in the background, we need all of that sort of standard business side as well. You know, you need your HR managers, you need your marketing managers. We need our administrators who you know, there's barely anyone more important in the organisation than the administrator, because they kind of know everything that's going on and make sure that everything stays on track. So really, it depends on the role. So I would say there's a great website called spacecareers.uk, and that's run by an organisation called UK SEDS, which is a group of students who are specifically interested in space. I would say look on that website to then be able to work backwards and think, you know, what are you naturally a creative person? Do you naturally have a great attention to detail? And then see which of those jobs kind of most attract you. And then once you've got that idea, you could then work backwards. So look at what qualifications, skills, experience that you need to be able to get that job in, you know, 3 to 5 years time when maybe you're finishing your education. That would be my advice on that, really. I mean, for me, it's super exciting. I really wanted to get involved with Spaceport before I moved across. For me, it's that I'm a Cornish lad, for one, and I really want to develop things in Cornwall, and I see huge opportunity in developing a space cluster here locally and having local jobs that people can aspire to, you know, that aren't necessarily within what you would normally associate with Cornwall around the sort of tourism and hospitality. But you know, really those high level STEM jobs or science, technology, engineering and maths jobs that people can aspire to and work towards, even if they don't end up down here, you know, just to have those opportunities down here. But getting that first launch in 2022, you know, a first for the UK, it's going to be super exciting. And I love telling people about it. I love engaging with students, and, you know, they're so imaginative and so excited about it every time that I speak to them, and the questions they come back are brilliant. You know, my standard week, you know, I don't think anybody ever has a standard week, but I can give an example for this week. So I'm hosting virtual work experience for 3 days. So we've got 40 students coming on to work on a project. I've just come off of a meeting where we're looking at plans for the G7 summit, which is being hosted in Cornwall this summer, and we're hoping to do you know, a decent amount of outreach, but also sort of business engagement on that front, and then marketing meetings to discuss things that are going on. So we've just developed a 32-page booklet for primary school students, so working with marketing to work out how we can get that out there the best. So yeah, quite diverse week, and I think everybody has quite diverse weeks, really, but that's what keeps it exciting. This tends to always come up especially when we're talking to students, actually, which is great, because they really need to be driving this and to be keeping this in the forefront of their minds. So yeah, we've done a full environmental impact assessment, and the carbon dioxide levels from when we're at full capacity, so when we're launching 8 times a year, there'll be a 0.04% increase within the carbon released through the airport to Cornwall's sort of whole carbon impact. So we're looking to offset this and more. We are hoping to be the greenest launch site in the world. So one thing that we've done is invested in green buses for Cornwall. But we're also working with University of Exeter students, and we've set 3 of their master's students on one of their environmental courses projects, and they are going to be looking at the potential development of a kelp forest in Cornwall. So the seaweed kelp is a particularly good carbon sink, and Cornwall's blessed with having kelp all the way around the coast, but there's not a lot of information out there around how healthy it is, whether it's growing, whether it's decreasing, and we're hoping that we can use satellite data to show how healthy that kelp is, but also potentially in the future work with Cornwall Council to have their own kelp forest, because kelp grows particularly quickly, and that can be harvested and turned into biofuel. So this is kind of the start of a feasibility study with the University of Exeter. Another student is looking at working with farmers locally to help reduce their sort of carbon offset by using satellite data technology. And another one is looking at using remote sensors on the ground and satellites in space to look at how things are environmentally generally. So it's something we take really seriously. We love where we live, and one of the best things about it is the naturalness of where we are, and we don't want to have an impact on that. But we also do want to be able to have that first launch and to be able to develop here. So it's a balance to be had, and definitely one to always keep in mind and always keep asking questions about it.